Good morning everyone, and welcome to my channel Easy Painting. I would like to start by saying a big thank you. There have been a few more subscribers and a few more likes, and I really appreciate it. So this video will be about alpine painting. It's about, well, let's put the picture here that I've painted. You will have this tutorial in two parts. So yes, this will be a full-length tutorial, and because it's a long tutorial, it's over 3 hours, I will split it in two. So you will have the first hour now, and then next week I will put the second part of the video. So not to bore you too much, see, because yeah, I know it can be quite a challenge to stick through a few hours of watching someone paint. Okay, so let's well, start the video, and thank you again, and I hope to see you on the next one and on all the other videos to come as well. You have a lovely day. Let's roll the video. Okay guys, this is the drawing. We've got a panel here. You will have the size in the description down below the video, yeah. And I will put also the colors down below. Depending if you're watching from YouTube or from Patreon, on Patreon it will be listed. On YouTube you will have it in the description down below. So for the colors, I'm going to start from the left. So that's a pale yellow green, veridian green, our ultramarine, cobalt blue, cerulian blue, our white, that's titanium white, lemon yellow cadmium, an Indian yellow, yellow ochre, orange cadmium, the alizarin crimson, burnt sienna, and a violet. So I've added these colors to, sometimes I need, as you know, when I do my trees, bushes, etc., I like to start with a transparent color, dark transparent color, which I use my ultramarine blue, my alizarin crimson, or the burnt sienna, and the Indian yellow. So with that I like to do a dark green for my shadow side, and for the rest I added cobalt blue recently because of the sky that is not always opaque enough when I use my ultramarine blue and white. Also I can have some lighter skies quicker if I need them. Other than that, what have I added? The violet, because more and more I paint with some cold colors to start with, and then I warm them up. So the violet is just for me a cheat, because if not I'll have to have ultramarine and alizarin crimson to find that violet. That's about it. That's a bit the reason I've got quicker, lighter greens with that, and that's it. That's why I've chosen these colors to paint at the moment. Not to say that these will stay. You need to find your own comfort and your own colors. So now we've got the colors out the way. I paint with flat, long flat, and filberts. I don't favor one over the other. Sometimes I like best to paint with flats because you can get very sharp edges, and sometimes I prefer, depending on what I paint, I prefer to paint with filberts. Anyway, it doesn't matter. paint with the brush that you like best. Here I have started the drawing. You don't need to see that, you can do your own drawing. So here, let me explain. You've seen the image. I can put it on quickly for you again. And on the image you can see that the position is a bit different. So to start with, I think I will cut ½ an inch off here. Like here. That's a nicer composition. If I would put, actually maybe we do that, I put a bit of tape on. I'll do it straight away so you can see. And for me, there is information that I don't need, and I don't want to stretch these too much out over there, because I want it to be of importance, that tree, more or less of importance. So if I take this and put it there, I will be able to, there we go, let's do that. I will have a tree here, will stop us from going out, and I will stop that information there. So that's my choice. I could have changed my drawing a little bit, etc. However, I didn't do it. So this is my way to stop the eyes from going out. You could just do what we normally do, is to blur everything out here, no interest, and that's maybe still a possibility. I don't know, you have to be open with those things. Right now I'll do that. Maybe I'm going to take it off, finish it. I still can decide afterwards to cut it, because this is a Masonite board, 3mm, so you can cut it to size, no problem. That's another advantage on painting on Masonite. Okay, so that's first thing. The second thing is, those mountains are not as high as in the picture, not quite. It could be. I mean, once I've finished all the drawing and everything, the painting I mean, and everything, but I want an effect where I'm stepping and standing a bit higher and watching those mountains in a bit further away as it is on the picture. I did a bigger tree here, and there's a tree here on the side where maybe only will have foliage coming out, and foliage, of course, these, as you can see, are evergreens, so will be foliage coming out there, and that again is to stop from going out this way from the picture. We want to stay inside, and by staying inside, what I've done as well is I'm going up here. See, we enter picture from the right often, all right? For someone who's right-handed, we'll enter the picture from the bottom right. So I'm entering the picture. Here I've been stopped because that rock stops there. Then I've got that shadow here, which will act as a guide to go this way. And then I will have to have interest on that, in that tree, which is going to give me interest again this way, to get the eye moving from one side to another. Here we will have a big stop with that big tree, which will redirect me into the picture. See, that's how you have to think about your composition. Not just copy a photo, because photos are wrong. They don't give us the right information. They are distorted, the value is wrong, the shadows are wrong, loads of things are wrong in a picture. So that's why I should say, or I should mention, that painting from outdoors is really a good learning curve. If you want to see how the light affects nature, go outside and paint outside, and then you will understand how it affects landscapes. So coming back to that, here I've got important to know your horizon line, because your horizon line will be eye level, meaning that if I stand here, my head will be there. See, that's my head standing back. That here is my head. So I'm looking down there. So my trees here will not have any view from the bottom branches. They'll all be side branches, even up there. Or up there I can have more shadow underneath, because I will look a little bit up. See, that's the first point, that's important. Second point important, all my lines going to that horizon line, which we won't see anymore because we cannot see it in the picture. It's the horizon line I've chosen, and I think roughly that will be the horizon line. It could be a little bit higher, but I chose to put it here, looking down. So horizon line, I have to, all my other lines cannot be straight from that horizon line. This is my straight line, and whatever goes from that line needs to be on an angle. So going up, we need to find angles. Whoop, here we go. Going down, we need to start finding angles. Okay, and the further I go, the steeper the angle. Right? Coming forward to you, and this will give you the effect of a realistic picture. So we will have our rock here, which is very nice, main picture. Our color is very springy, also loads of reds in it, which are going to use that Indian yellow quite a bit, maybe a bit of red, greens. It will be quite nice, I think. But to start with, I'm going to establish my values, my distance. I will paint those mountains, the shadows. I will paint the shadows, and then the mountains here. So let's start by mixing my shadows in the front there. Put a bit of warmth in there, maybe also, just slightly, so we're not too confused. I'm going to use, where are my brushes here? I'm going to use maybe an inch brush to start with. Why not? An inch brush to start with, or hang on, can I? No, I think that's more appropriate. So that's half an inch. Start half an inch, yeah. Half an inch brush, small, just whatever brush. So down here I'll have mineral spirit here, but only a tiny bit. I don't want my when I put my bristles in, I don't want it to be all over. So I'm going to go on this side, and I want my mauve to start with, my blue, both blues, my red. See, even I started with violet, I still use my other colors. And sometimes it's just to warm it up a bit, more or less. I say that I'm going to, never mind, I'm going to use my other brush and just put a little bit of warmth here. So I'm going to use transparent colors, meaning yellow ochre. I need to have a little bit of, and a touch of red. Oh, that was too much. Yeah, that is too much, but no, it's too much. So let's go over there. I wanted a warm color. It's transparent, so that's fine. I'm going to wipe some off anyway. And here we're gonna have, that's the bit of transparent color. So not much, it's just to indicate a bit of warmth here, that's all. So I'm gonna wipe this a little bit like that, and that will be just enough to remind me that I want some warmth here. Okay. Okay, so put this on the side, and now start with my shadows. So on here I have all these shadows. If I look into the stone, they are a bit purple shadows here, not as purple as this, and that's for the rock ones, and they are quite dark. So my rocks here they have quite dark shadow. That's a shadow because, okay, shadow here, shadow on the trees. I will have some rocks there as well in front of that tree. I'll have that rock here. So for now, maybe I take this off and we'll see how far I go with that. But here I have stone in the shadow there. Going this way to the tree. There's a couple of stones here and there. Yep, here, maybe here. And then the shadow of the trees itself. So on there I'm going to take a bit of that green. And use this as my shadow, which will have here in the green. I need a touch of that light green here. So we got shadows. So the sun comes from the right. It's actually slightly in my back right, but I'd say it's coming from the right. So my shadows will be on the left. So here all this will be in shadow there. I've got a dip. I've got a dip here. Bit of sunshine there. That grass is there in the shadow. That grass here is all in the shadow under that purple. All that area there is quite shadowy actually. Go. And a little bit of sunlight here and there, but I'm going to keep all this in shadow actually. All this I keep in shadow. Sunlight in the front there, sunlight in the back, sunlight in the front. Here shadow. Shadow here, shadow there, and here we'll have a bit of sunlight there, hitting here and there. What needs to happen is you need to start seeing how things are going to work in your painting. So now I've got this here, it's all in light, and it goes back into something misty down there. So that's a road here, and on the other side we start back in the shadow. So I'm going to use this one now to do that whole. I need a bit more red in that. And I'm a touch lighter, so I put a little bit warmth in that, just slightly, a bit of orange, not too much. Okay, and I'm not bothered by differences. I'm gonna put all that mass, everything there, into shadow. So let's do a bit more, bit of that violet, bit of my red here, and a little bit of my yellow. Maybe I used the ochre, the Indian. Still want it cool purple. So I'm just going slightly around this tree because I want to remember where it is. So all that up to that band will go that color up to this band here. I've got a tree here. So I want enough paint to have just a touch of that dark, bit more of that, bit more of that, and cool it down with it, warm it up with that. I'm gonna have to find my my trees and light into all that again, which is fine. And here all that is light, so all that will be dark. I have some lines for the trees there. I'm going to get rid of right now and put them in again later. See, so because up to, well, I need to be careful with that's lighter here, so I'm not quite going back down here. I need to stop there. I need to stop there. Yes, I need to stop there. So, and this is a different value as well, so I'm getting confused myself there. So this value stops here, and then, well, here at the angle, and then, okay. Don't worry if you're not entirely exactly have your design exactly the same as your picture, okay? So here they're all here. It's all blurry, and here again I've got just a road in there. Do I want that road? Probably yes. Probably I will want it. But I don't want to put it in now. So I'm gonna do this one, which needs to be lighter. Don't need to cover it all, but yeah, that's gonna be nice. And then now we go for a lighter blue. So cobalt blue, and a bit lighter, so I'll put a little bit of white in there. Okay, so that's not bad. It's still not light enough, and that's often the problem. I'm gonna do it cooler as well. I don't need too cool, so let's put again a bit of that red in there. That's not bad, but it's not light enough. Let's stop being afraid lighting it. Bit of that violet in there. Yeah, bit of that violet in there. That's quite good. If I put it here, will I see a difference? Yes, I do. So I think I'll go with that, and we see later if I have to move. It gets warmer going this way, so I will start cool here. So let's do this. And when you look for a color, don't just put a little swab like this. What can you see there? Nothing. You need to really put some color on to see the relationship and difference in value. There is not a lot. There is a bit more in the picture, so what I'm going to do is add a little bit of white to that, and a little bit more purple. And now I'm too grey, so I'm going to add a touch of my cobalt blue. And a bit of that just in the corner there, because that is more what we have here. Up to this bit, and then it gets grayer and grayer there. I can see myself getting a lighter color on top of that, but anyway. Now I'm going this way, I get warmer, a little warmer. So a little warmer, I'm gonna put a little bit of my yellow there in there. Not too much. It's warmer. Is it warm enough? No. So a bit more of that yellow, a bit more of the white. Now we're a little warmer. Okay, let's go with that. Just that touch warmer. See, it's not a lot into there. Maybe a little ochre. Yeah, maybe on the side here I need something warmer. Not too warm. Not too warm. A little warmer. Okay, let's settle with that. that's warmer here as well. Okay, so we will have the clouds there anyway, who will make this very soft, but what I'm after is that difference in value and probably in hue. I'm not going to bother with this small mountain in the back. Once it's got some light, which can be confusing with the rest of the picture. Secondly, it doesn't do anything more or less, and I'm not worried about seeing this mountain, the importance of this mountain. Not really worried about that. Okay, so now I've got this in, I need to put the floor in, which is, I need to change my brush and have something warmer there. I'm gonna have that yellow. I'm going to do it here, and then I'm going to clean. After that, I'm going to clean this up. My green here is quite fitting for what I see. However, I don't want to be too light yet. I need some blue in there. Oh, that's a lot of blue. Yeah, I'm gonna run with that, and then put the highlights or whatever in afterwards. So I'm gonna have to finish this bit here. There is the road. Okay, here I'm gonna have to come down. No, I'm going up with that. Yes, going up with that, and that's the road here. Okay, so where's my other brush here? Get this one here. Bit more red. Here we go. Okay. Okay, that little stretch will be enough. I'm going to get these up a little bit from here, not that one. But the others here, I'm going just to get these up a little bit there. Okay, so now got that value, Now I'm going to change brushes, or maybe that's warmer, greener, warmer, redder. Let's get just, before I finish this, it's warmer here, and sometimes a bit redder. so I can see quite a bit of red here. Yep. And we're going to have what we call lyric lines, lyrical lines. Here we go. Here as well. And then here we got the rock, which I'm going to put into, for now, into this value here. So this is the rock here. I've got the shadow here, which is a little bluer. Or when I say the shadow, I say the shadow side of the rock here. And that's in shadow here. There we go. The rest is in light. So, but for now, I just do the rock all in one color. That is the rock here. All in one color, and I'm going to put the light on top of that. Okay. That's rock here, that's shadow here. So that green here, shadow. A bit more of the veridian, a bit of that green here. Okay. Okay, like that. Here's shadow. And we double it later on. That is not as steep here. There we go. And here. Okay. So now let's put all this in that color, shadow color. It will be less shadowy in a bit. That can go higher actually. And then lighter here. Okay. Don't do too much. Shadow and light mixed here, so let's do that. And then we got a little light here, and the rim is all light here. All this rim here is light and goes into the rock. There. And then let's put this in shadow again. So blue, green, put that yellow in. Right now, that is our scene blocked in. Here, this is what. Okay, this is our scene blocked in. All the rest will disappear. Got the sky, but I'll do the sky later. Okay. Now this is blocked in. I'm going to wait just 5 minutes for it to set a little bit. And then we go back to it and put the highlights on top of that with loads of fun. So I will go back and forth, starting with this here, and then I move back and forth to have a harmony in all of that painting. Okay. And with that, the trees. Now I'm going to change brush. I'm going to get a flat brush number 3. It doesn't matter really, but I want to get in the trees, or the shadow side of the trees. It doesn't matter for now how those shadows are. It's just a landmark. Okay, I will work on it again, but for now I need to know where my trees are, and I want to put my shadow side. So I don't bother about the trunks right now, I just put the shadow side. So shadow, I'm going to do that here. Transparent colors, so ultramarine blue, ultra, alizarin, and so that is dark, but it's transparent. And if I add a little bit of white to that, I should have a brownish color. Oh, not enough. Brown greenish, yeah. Brown greenish color. And that for my shadow is fine. I may add just a little touch more of that. I could have a little bit of phthalo green. Phthalo green is a very dark green. Just going to put a little bit here, and it's transparent, so just put a touch here. We don't want much, it overpowers everything, but I've got it here next to my palette, so I'm going to add a little phthalo green in that to have something who's a little greener than brown. We're still going to go towards a brown. So now I'm going to not necessarily add some turpentine, but just a touch maybe. So here, remember that one, I had one here to cut off, I had one here, and that's the ones who go down there up to here. So I'm going to start with that one, and it needs to be darker than this. So if I squint, I am darker. but not much. So I've got two options. I can lighten this a little bit, which I think I will do to start with before I go there, especially because we've got some cloudy, misty thing here. So I'm going to take my brush again, go back in this mixture with which was alizarin crimson, a little bit of ultramarine blue, a little bit of the purple, and I will add, let's have a look with a bit of yellow to warm it, but to lighten it. I don't really want to go in with white, but I will have to. Okay, bit of white to that. But now it's all out of shift. I could have it a bit warmer than that actually, so let's add a bit more of my and make it a touch lighter. Still, that's too light. Okay, let's go back to our purple. That's too light. A little bit of the blue, purple, warm it up, lighten it a little bit. Let's have a look there. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's quite better. So because I'm going over it, I don't need to wipe it or can leave it a bit darker this side actually. So I'm going to just take this a bit more this way. I do want my tree here, so I'm going to do that. And here the same. And that will tie up with the bottom bits as well actually, a little bit more. Okay, that's fine here. I always have some interesting brush strokes. Color will change on it, but at least I won't go much darker than that, just a little bit. So now I've done this. Yes, have something. Okay, more lyrical if needed. Edges, get rid of the edges for now because they're far away. Okay, let's come back to our tree. So my green, that tree I did want it as high as here. My shadow is on the left side. My darkest dark is here. So and it just anchors it, oh here, so I need to go lower. It anchors here, just at the later we'll probably go darker. We'll see. For now, that is my shadow. I want a shadow here, and that goes as high as there. I could wipe. That would have been actually a good thing to do, to wipe out here, see, to have that transparency working a bit better there. So if I do show you, let's show it to you. I wipe out here. Okay, now come back with that. Have a bit more of that be observant, see that that shadow goes all the way here, but also here and here as well. Okay, so don't be shy. This goes a bit there, so we can be straighter this way. Again, shadow goes, that's my darkest dark. I will have to add some colors in between. And I will have to read it dark as well. That's why I need to work on the mountains behind to get this dark to come forward. You'll see, we get there. And then I will have a tree coming out, but they're equally spaced there now. I've got a tree showing from down there. What I'm going to do is put two trees in. I've got trees, so this is the border, which should be sharp. Let's put that sharp just for a second. Let's get this sharp here. More purple than brown, but let's get this sharp here. This is the edge here. But I have trees, one tree coming from the bottom, not on top here, but bottom. So I could cut off there. I've got actually a tree there, so let's put one here. Which is down there, maybe a bit bigger than this one. And one showing there. Again, take the color off there. There we go. I show off a tree here. And it is only the shadow side that we are going to see. See? Okay, that's okay. Now we have trees coming down here. So maybe I should, instead of doing that, work a bit on that before I put these trees in. But however, I can put this one in. So this one is my master tree, and the trees are really my focal point. So I wipe this off right just now, like that for now, because I've got quite a bit of a trunk. I'm gonna have to paint left and right in it, and we are a bit further back there as well. So what I'm going to do is put the form of my tree in. So here I put this in afterwards, once I've the sky, well, some I put in afterwards. Right now I just design it. Opening there is nice. Okay, let's say that is my shadow side of this tree. I'm going to do the, don't know, should I not, because there the problem is the sky, but maybe. Try to link everything with everything. Don't know if that makes sense right now, but link the darks together, all that, link everything, everywhere you can link a tree or something. Here I just wanted it to be interesting. And then we will have a tree coming out of here, smaller. Link that to that shadow. There we go. Okay, next I'm going to work on this, and for that I'm going to change my brush and get some misty bits in, etc, etc. So first, because here are some trees going up, so I'm going to start to be a little bit greener there. Okay, so I'm going to take another flat brush. And I'll have to do this a little bit more misty here. So right now I can stay with that. So that's bluer, a touch bluer. Let's go on cobalt blue. White, of course. And so my light is from the left to the right. So I don't want to put that, well, I want to put it everywhere here, but because it needs to be lightened, those need to. So it gets obviously this will have to go a little lighter too. So you can do that before yeah, before you're going to decide to put the trees in. Now we'll still play with some different colors. So that's one mountain. So let's do it as one. Let's do it as one. Here we go. And then we can bring in some lights wherever we would see it. But it has to be okay. That's a bit better. So now I want a bit of greenery. Green, but without seeing green. Do you see what I mean? And stay light. So what about this? Yeah, that's not bad. So now we got that sort of thing happening here with some green shade. Okay, and it comes down this way. Squint your eyes and then it goes darker there. It goes darker there. We've got a little highlight here. And here we have those grey-green but cold. Careful with too much detail. And here as well, that cold green. Dark. Dark cold green. Going up in there a bit. Okay, squint, squint, squint. No detail, so those rounded, choppy brush strokes are perfect for that. Okay, and then some go up here. There we go. Some are a little darker, as we can see. So we put them back in there as well. We start to just get a touch of differences in there. So before I carry on here, I wanted to show you, I thought I forgot for a second, to show you an important step. Actually, it doesn't seem so important, but I think it is. I'm going to clean a space here, because now I've blocked in all these colors here, and I'm going to go back into here, there, over there. I'm going to move around and do the sky afterwards. I'll do the sky when I'm practically finished with the mountains. So in the meantime, I need to clean up. I also need to clean out and go very near to all the colors I've spoiled there. See, all that is important here. All that bit here needs to be cleaned. And guys, do that. Just clean it. Look at all that dark here. That needs to come off. That needs to be cleaned. See? All that needs to come off. I don't want to make my next step dirty before I even started. Here, that needs to be cleaned. All that here needs to be cleaned. There we go. The white. I keep that white for the sky there. So here, in this, don't be what's the word I'm looking for? Cheap, I should say. Don't be cheap, because your painting will look cheap if you're cheap. So that's okay, that's okay. Okay, all that is okay. So now, here I've got a bit of white in that one. Okay, now it's clean this way. I'm just going to clean the board itself to have a fresh. So the good thing with working on a glass palette like I have to my right, when I work on the wall there, I'm having a glass palette. And the good thing with that is that it is cleaned much quicker and better than like a wooden palette like this. You see? But for the sake of the video, I've got no choice to do that, because that's the best angle for you guys to look at paintings, I'll do, etc, etc. Okay, so now I'm getting back now to, as I said, the mountains. Well, not only the mountains, but there was a storm. I decide to put in or don't. I don't know. We'll see. So before I carry on, I just want to get your attention on these bits. well, on the whole painting really, on the whole painting, you already clearly see where we're going with that painting. See, with that on the painting, with those first values, we know exactly where we want to go. So that is important. So I have some trees to put in here in a bit, but first deal with that a little bit here. I am going to get to my right. I'll have some turpentine, or the less turpentine, to clean my brush every so often. And I got it nicely. Always have some paper in my hand. Okay, now let's deal with the mountain here. So let's have this side has clearly got the sunlight, and let's go and play with that. Look, let's have a warm light. Let's have a bit of white here. Take a bit more than that. I have a little bit into my medium here. Okay, so warm light, a little bit of yellow ochre in there. The touch of blue, cobalt blue. Let's see. So the sky, that is too white, so let's have a bit more of that yellow ochre. And a touch of that blue still. Okay. And that is better, but a bit too green. So let's put a touch of the red in there. And start again. That's better. So now we have even a bit redder, touch of blue again in there. And now watch how the effects appear onto those ridges there. That's darker this side. Bluer here. So let's do this as well. Let's have a bit more blue in that. A bit more. Let's have a touch of ultramarine. That's a bit much, but we work with that. Okay. I want a touch more light on top of that here. Before I put the there will be a bit light here and there. Okay, probably see that better later on. So now we are going to lighten this. So I still haven't got that red effect here that I see there. That's too bright. Okay, that's about right. And then I've got a couple here. So now for that blue, it's a lighter blue that we want. So let's go back here, a bit more white. There will be there will be some of the clouds coming up here. It's called a lighter blue just right here. Just here on the tip. And it's going to be faded anyway when I'm going to put the clouds over it. But here and there we can see a bit of a colder note blue. Okay. So that's not too bad. This can stay here. We have some notes here, that's fine. Okay, now we have onto that hill some bits coming down from it. Can't distinguish really what it is. Gravel. But it's coming down from that hill. It's a bit browner than what we got out here. So that's dark here, and it comes right to that corner there. To that corner, up like that, and then fades into nothing over here. Okay. And then we've got something similar here but greener, and then I'm not even talking about here, like we have some lines coming right, left, very faded. And broken this way as well. Okay, anyway, right now this doesn't really matter because all that will be very light and cloudy. But see how that mountain is starting to take shape. So now we want this actually here as well. A little warmer. Now we want it a bit greener, so here and there we go. And now I want something a little greener here, lower, and here on this side we would have something like this. So what's beneath is mixing with that, is enabling you to get a good transition from one to another. Here we have yep. Cooler green here, that's fine. That's fine. And then we go in the cooler and cooler green. First, can I introduce some here? Yes, I can. This is this looks quite green here. So please note how little we need to get the effect. Okay, and let's go down there, catch up here a little bit, and we catch up with that. We will catch up with the rest there as well. Okay, so now we need to go a bit greener, a bit darker. So I'll go this side. Yes, I'll keep this one for the dark. So I'll add a little bit of ultramarine blue in there, and again some of my yellow. That's dark. I think it's a good dark. So can I here? Yes. And then I will have that color there as well. Maybe a little yellower touch here. They're lighter here, but darker going this way. So let's have something a bit darker there, with a touch of red oxide. Got too much white coming through there. Which means I have to clean my brush a bit. Okay, so it starts again, a little bit of blue, bit of warm, so yellow oxide, and a little bit of that green. So let's have a look. Yeah. Not quite as dark up there, it's fine, but here we are quite dark. In the green, my question was, do I want to put that road early on, and I think I'm not going to put that road in. In between here we have those darks as well. Those darks cannot be as dark as here, so I need to lighten that green a bit. There we go. Yes. Dark green is a bit lighter now there. Okay. And we have some light patches now there. And a bit warmer. Just slightly. Not there, just here. Okay. Few green patches here and there, because it needs to hold together there. Okay, there as well, just needs to hold together. Okay. This is greener as well, but not as green. So I will have this green in there. Let's have a look. A little more orange in that one. And a bit of white touch. Okay, that's better. Yes, it goes with the rest. Okay, so and here will be darker. Okay, and that's how you harmonize everything. So now darker there, darker but not too dark. Now it's dark here as well. Okay. Okay. And here it's a bit lighter and warmer, and here it's much lighter. So right now I'm going to soften these edges, decide if I want it much lighter or if I leave it like that. And I think I may leave it like that to tie in with the rest here. But here I need to add this. I can't just stop it there. See? So now all that here should be misty, or should be, can be misty a bit more. Maybe for that I'm going to start to get the sky in, and then I'm going to mist all that. First I may work a little bit on the rocks, on these rocks there. So I've got a space here. I will have a grey, blue again, blue, grey, oops, blue, blue, grey, blue, grey, blue, grey. There is a blue, grey. There we go. And that's all. That's the shadow everywhere. That blue, grey. So darker here. A little bit darker there, which we're going to darken later on. I've got grass coming up here, and here we are straight here, and that's the stone here. Okay, a bit bluer here, just here. Where we're going to work into, that's the shadow here, and that's all the light. Okay, so now I've got this. I'm going to work there in the shadow. There's some grasses on top. Well, let's put the light on first. So light for that, I'm going to go up there, and I'm going to start with a muted light. And then here the light there is some on top here like that, and then it goes nice and careful. The shape is not all the same. There we go. Got some light coming in nicely like that, and there we got the shadow going the other way. There we go. And of course we got some shadows there, so the lights will go higher than that. Got a few highlights here and there. So lighter for the highlight, so quite a bit of white, warm it up a little bit with some of that. There we go. Stones are quite white, so keep it on the white-ish side. And here, I really should do that later on. But here is a big light here. A big light. See here. Okay, now from here now we start to get bluer, and even a little bit of red. It's too red. Okay. It's reflected light, so I can't go too light, so let's have a bit more blue. Let's go for a touch of purple, because it's purple, really. Don't see it as such, but it is. So a little bit more blue in that purple. Okay. And a touch of red. Okay, that's not bad. So there's some dark in that one. Warm, Not this side. Here, yes. Here I got some. It's too warm. So you have to play with until you're happy with what you come up with. Obviously, I want it a bit cooler than that. So okay, a bit cooler than that. So let's add some blue into that again. It's lighter too. Cooler, lighter. What about that now? Okay, so obviously I need a few more of these in there. It's very cold here. Just want to indicate some, because we have rocks there as well. got one here. I want to indicate that one. Shadow in front. Got a rock here. Got a few rocks here and there. I don't want loads of rocks, but I need to indicate a few. And of course I've got one here. Which I may want, I may don't, I don't know. Okay, so let's stop there, go back over there. I've got a few rocks here, I've got one here as well. Let's go back, let's go to the sky actually. So now I came so far, I can see clearly that this is not working. So therefore I am going to lighten it, blue it, a little, not crazy. But nevertheless, lighten it, blue it, because it is less obvious anyway here. I can see a little bit of green coming up there, that green here. Gently, careful on what I'm doing. Some are whiter, lighter. It's a bit messy, some parts, but that's also good. Yeah, I'm gonna come back with the sky there. Okay, just tie it in with everything else. Okay, so here around the tree, same thing. Needs to be bluer. Mind, that tree is going to come up a bit more anyway here, so the sky here is going to come up in there as well here, and here is very blurry. Here we have some greens coming up, warmer greens. Have them in here as well. And then here has to be even lighter, so let's, okay, because that's the lit side, Here, let's play with that. Okay, and here we can have some greens coming in there. Okay, so we can have that sort of thing maybe here. Okay, even here, yeah, that here can go in here. Well, and then blue. Okay. Okay, I think that this is better. Here we go on the cooler, come on, cooler green. Okay. Yes, and then the cooler green goes there. There we go. Okay. See? That now is ties a little bit better in there. So we're not completely here yet. Especially around that tree, which could be like that. There we go. And here we could be a touch lighter. So okay, and so here again we are going to go into something a little green, warmer, maybe actually darker. Cooler, that's cooler. Yeah, cooler works. Okay, as long as it works, here dark, here could have a little bit of light. Oops. Here a little bit lighter, we could have just there a little lighter. Okay, here we got lighter later, and here we're gonna get the okay, so now so we can have some greens here, too light, darker, greener, I don't want some greens scattered everywhere there. That's not what I want. But here and there we could have a shape. So I just take some of these and get them down there. Then I tie them all in like this. There we go. No more than that. No more than that. Just suggestions of some trees down there. Okay, now let's do the sky. For the sky I'm going to clean and clear again my board. We want to work on something clean. Okay, let's do that sky. So I cleaned the area and I will now do that. The blue of the sky have a little bit of medium. That white is quite stiff, so I'll have to add quite a bit of medium into it. And when I say medium, I mean mineral spirit. See, here we go. Now it's creamy. So I'll have a bit of my cobalt blue. Touch of ultramarine. I don't want to go too dark. That's about, no, that's not dark enough. Okay, that cobalt is not transparent, it's semi-transparent, so it's yeah, that's better. That's better. So the key of the whole scene is darker than what we have in the original. But that's quite, it's quite okay. Depends what you're looking for. If you want a key a bit lighter, higher, you need to get the backgrounds lighter as well. Here, if you squint, you see that this background is further down this one, as here it is darker, here it's lighter, and here my darks are really holding the front, so that's fine too. I don't want too much blue. That's the blues that are gonna be here. Now I'm going to add some white into that. I want to degrade, have a gradation, not degrade, have a gradation. So I have to be careful here with my dark I put here, but a gradation here, just here, because after that we're having the cloud. But here I want it to be, don't be shy, put some stuff on there. So gradation here, and then that gradation will go further back this way as well. And here it's very light. Because of the sky, of the mean clouds who are there. So now that's the time where I come and cut into that. And here. And where also you can cut into, well, everything to do it more harmonious. Here we are. And here as well. We don't want a straight background. Anything we do put like kind of waves in it. Okay, I have to be careful here, so actually not too much here because there is a bit of sky. Okay, there is a bit of sky. But here we got very little sky here and there. Got a little bit of blue showing here and a little bit here, but it's mostly white. I mean very light blue. So we have a gradation from there to there. Okay, and then here we are having the dark of the clouds on the there, so I need to just go around this patch, which I shouldn't have done, really. Too late now. So we will have clouds coming into that in just a moment. Okay. Here I still have a little bit of blue sky. Okay, so now the sky is down. Let's clean the brush and just so now we go from okay, and here a bit lighter as well. Okay, and now, so clouds. But I'm tempted to do the clouds once it's dry. And actually that's what I'm going to do. So I'm not going to do the clouds now. I'm going to wait for the painting to dry, and then we are putting the clouds on top of it. Yes, that's what we are going to do. I can right now just get rid of the edges, though, as these will not be as important. That one nearly disappearing completely. Okay. So there will be clouds here, but we'll see that later. Okay. The rest we can finish, but the clouds be for another video, or I'll add it to that one, but I don't think so. I think that's going to be a video in 2 parts anyway, because it will be long. It's very long, that video. I think it is. I bet that most of you are fallen asleep. Okay, I need to get this a little bit lighter. Okay, I put this brush down. My sky is done, and I will just use this actually to shape here a bit. Okay. Some of these rocks need to go back. Here as well. Okay. Okay, so this is not too bad. Now we are going to address maybe here. I want to cool it down a little bit, that. So let's get rid of this over there. I need to rectify here a little bit. It's too thick. Okay. So this is too warm. So I will add a few shadows into that. So let's keep my darks over there. A bit of that yellow. Bit more of that brown in there. Okay. So, and now we want to see them with the trees. There is a line of tree that goes down there. So I could show you one here, a smaller one here. Have to be careful that we not a bigger one further down. One here. Maybe one there. Yes, and we got a few there, couple there. So then the other side, I've got one here. I may put one there, may not, but that's what's happening. So now here I'll have different colors there. So let's have something quite warmer, a bit of that orange, something quite warm, not everywhere but here and there, a bit more of that orange, adding a bit of that yellow, and still redder, oranger. That's better. So here and there we got some nice orangey flavor. Not everywhere, but I keep that flavor in there. It's really nice. Make the most of it. And I'll do that. I don't know if we will see it with the once I've done the trees, or how many, because there are loads of trees in here. So I don't know, but for now I'll keep it. don't want to go too light right now. I'm tempted though. I'm really tempted just there. Anyway, for now, let's leave it like that. And then we have a few more greens. Greens. Here. Here and there. There in the front. Okay, right now that's gonna stay there. I wipe the brush. I'm going over just a little bit this. A very, very light touch. A very light touch. I'm actually a bit too low there. I should go up now. As I said, it's a very light touch. Okay, right now this is okay. We leave it like that. I'll have a touch coming through here. Okay. Now, this is the ridge, and yes, I'll have some of those nice brackens, whatever it is. Let's put our concentration on that tree. It's one of the main characters, so before I run out of steam, I'm going to do that tree. Okay, so it's not a tree who's on the picture. You have gathered this, I'm sure. I send you, as I say, the link of the tree that I'm using. Now, let's put this down. And right now I need to put, let's keep this one. I need to have some more browns in that tree here. Don't know why I'm gone so much out on this one. The center, oh yeah, my center is here, so my trunk would be here. Okay, I'll have to do so ultramarine blue, Indian yellow, touch more ultramarine, a bit of the oxide red. Okay, and now I'm more yeah, of course I'm slipping on that okay, so this is the structure of my tree that I like. It's my tree, I do what I want. I can see of you some saying, what the heck? And then if I wouldn't know what I'm doing, I would agree with you. So, and I put the shadow down of that same tree, and that goes straight down there. And all that will be in shadow. The whole thing there. will be in shadow. Okay, so that means that my bracken here needs to have a bit of foam there. If not, looks like something odd. Put some in there. Okay, and then here as well. Okay, we'll have a look at that later, but here has to be much brighter. So for now I just go for pure yellow, but I'm not going to leave that. It has to be much brighter here and much brighter there to come to the foreground. Okay, for now it doesn't make sense, but it will. It will in a minute. So here, all that as well. I only have okay. Now I'm going to flatten that shadow a bit. Put the highlight, put some color in there. Okay, and yeah, the trunk, maybe I open it here a bit. This, no, yes, maybe, no, actually no, I'm not going to open this here, but I will, maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure, let's leave that for now. Close that a bit, and here in between. There we go. Okay, so now light on here, and for that I'm going to have a little bit of these two greens. Oh, I need some of my light green again. Mind you, I can do it with a phthalo green. See that green, if I do this and a bit of phthalo green, I've got it back. So I don't need to buy it, but it's nice to have it. See what I mean? So I have some very nice flashy. It's too flashy. Add some of that and a little bit of that. So I added a bit of oxide, and I just want to see how Here and there it can work, but don't want too much of that. Okay. Okay. Here now. Yeah. So browner here. Brown on top. I'll come back to that one. Here. It has to be linking with the next one. So okay. Now we put some browns in it again, and then I will tie it all together. Okay. This one and this one. Okay. So now Need to tie it all together now. And we don't want hard edges here. So that needs to be as light as a feather. Even there, some hard edges can be tolerated, but all in all, all these edges need to be soft. Okay, so I've gone outside for a bit, and I can see that there is some bits that I would like to address in a minute. I'm still gonna work a little bit on that, on here, some of those darks. So browns within these darks now. Okay. Here in the shadow, a green, blue-green. So it stays veridian. Okay. So we want quite dark here as well. And here. Okay, so one more path of light. Here would be dark, the trunk here. Well, I address that in a minute. Right now, I can address more that tree here, and a light here. Don't want anything hard here. Have to be careful that with the sky. Okay, right this minute I'll leave it there. Maybe I can put lighter touch here and there. But that's it. Maybe going around here a bit. Tie it together. Maybe a bit of sunlight going in the back there. Okay, I'm going to do the trunk later on. There needs to be shadow on the side, but that can be addressed later as well, or I can do it now, whichever. So here, shadow opposite okay. I'm not always very steady, so I'm gonna take my arm, don't know, maybe yep. I don't want it as thick either. Here. Okay. So let's go back with a point there. Tie this with that one. Okay, leave it like that. Light onto the left. Okay, now tie that to that. Have rim light here. Okay, right now that's not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, so there can be a couple bright spots still there, but what I want to do is take all these big ones away. these big strokes there. And then right now that's okay for that tree. Let's add a few there, but not too much, because okay, no more than that. That's enough for that, because I don't want to attract any attention to that tree. That's just to block off that side.